Alrighty. So, here we go. All right. So, I actually recorded this about 3 times. So, right now we're about to go into part 3. So, the first video I put out there, it was from the original comment thread, right? Or at least an archived version of it that somebody had saved and put all the comments with responses on there. And that got up until the point where we left off on video 1, where he says, sorry, they are not happy about this, along those lines, which I'll find it here. Give me a second. Let me actually get to the second one. Right. So we left off at no more questions. They are not happy about this. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, since what we just read there is part 2, it's in its entirety. There really isn't going to be like a real part 2. I might be cutting in, because I'm reading the exact same thing over again. You might see me in different clothing, because I might just take parts that I thought I explained it, spoke it better, or had something more interesting to say in the last recording. Then I'll put those in there, and it'll still be cohesive, but it just might be different day, different clothing, basically reading the same thing over again. I'm just putting up the best versions of that and a nice cohesive story for you guys. Mostly because, really at this point, because of Chris Ramsey's, his channel name's Area 52. Go give him a sub. He's probably the best channel on this topic, but by far, bar none. So, I watched the second part of the Lacerda files that he read out today, and damn, did it make me just want to go ahead and finish this already, because there's so much that I think is common in both stories, especially the war between like the Elohim and the other reptilian aliens. These Greys tell him a very similar thing. So I'm just gonna go right back into it, and I'm gonna start reading it off. So, all right. Let's continue, shall we? So I'm going to read what the guy posted here. Okay. So everything we were reading before at the beginning was from 2013. And then Throawaylien disappears. Granted, he made his prediction of what the Greys told him would happen in 2021, that the Greys would make their presence known to Earth on a wide scale. That's basically what he said. Now, the rest of this is just an archived comment thread, just all of the replies that he did, Throawaylien. So I'm just going to read them and let you know when we're starting one, and I'll say next reply, but these will all be for Throawaylien. Maybe when we get to the bottom there, we're going to see some of that. But no, I think this is about it. This is the last chunk. And boy, is it fucking juicy. Okay. So May 24th, 2021, 10:09 a.m. And by the way, so this is from 2 different subreddits. This is from r_UFOs, or r_. So this is from r/UFOs and r/Throawalyens, the 2 biggest UFO channels on YouTube. Actually, move this mic a little bit. There we go. So his first comment, which starts off part 3 for us, is commenting on here was a mistake. I wish I hadn't done it. It changed everything for me. Not all in bad ways, but mostly in bad ways. I'm commenting again now because there are a lot of people on Reddit and probably elsewhere who are claiming to be aliens, or that I am a government agent or an alien agent or something like that. And they are all lying. I'm talking about the history of the Earth guy and the end of an era contract guy. He says these are hoaxes. They don't know anything, and it looks to me like they're trying to take advantage of my story and get my life and my life to get attention. I haven't even visited Reddit for years, and now I've seen all these posts about my comments. I wish I had never commented at all, but July is so close, and I won't be here much longer. So what's the point of not talking anyway? And I think I owe it to all but Julie. Sorry. And I think. Oh, whoa. He says, so I skipped the part here. He goes, I'm talking about the history of the Earth guy and the end of an era contract guy. These are hoaxes. They don't know anything, and it looks to me like they're trying to take advantage of my story and my life to get my attention. I haven't even visited Reddit for years, and now I've seen all these posts about my comments. I wish I had never commented at all, but July is so close, and I won't be here much longer, so what's the point of not talking anyway? And I owe it to a few people who have meant a lot to me. It makes me angry to see people try to take advantage like this when people have really suffered and really want answers. So I'm trying to type it all out. Maybe I'll run out of energy or stop caring, but I'm going to try. I was wrong about a lot when I posted before, and I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to mislead anyone. It's just that I didn't know what I know now. After I commented on here, my relationship with Jack and Gina, oh, by the way, just for comedic relief, calling her Gina. There's nothing you could do to stop me. Jack and Gina changed, especially with Gina, and it was like it opened a door up for me, and I was able to ask more questions and learn from her. And I guess that's good because I was able to learn a lot more about who they are and what they are doing. But in the whole, this was a big mistake because it made my life here so much worse than it already was. I messed up big time and I'm still paying for it every day, and I'm maybe going to pay big for it in a couple of days. Wow. I've been up 16 times. Well, it says 610 with two N's, but I think he meant 16. I've been up 16 times since I commented on here, and it's much more often now because they are almost done with me. I am going up once more this week, and that's it. I'll stay with them in the big ship for a while, and then I'll go back with them. I think he's talking about their home planet. That's what they've told me, and I know that I don't have a choice about this, and I don't care anyway. I don't think they are going to hurt me, but honestly, I don't know anymore. I've found out a lot about them, and it's not good mostly. They might kill me. I know that, but I also don't think that they'll torture me in any way or imprison me or anything like that. It doesn't seem like them to do anything like that, so even if they are lying, it's a better deal than I've got here. Wow. He says, when I answered questions on here before, I was afraid of human people here on Earth, not afraid of aliens. But I think I made that pretty clear. I didn't know at the time that they ever did anything to hurt people. I don't think they do it a lot, and I really still don't fear that they are going to hurt me. It was because I was afraid of people that I made a throwaway account on here instead of using my real name. I didn't want anyone to find me, obviously. And because I wanted to protect the privacy of one of my friends, who isn't my friend, it turns out, I wasn't afraid of the government. I wasn't afraid of the government at the time, but I should have been. I don't know if the government was monitoring or if that's how they found me, but I was abducted by the United States government in broad daylight in 2015. So that was about 2 years after he posted. He goes, I don't know if the government was monitoring me or if that's how they found me, but I was abducted by the United States government in broad daylight in 2015. They never identified themselves, but they were pretty clearly FBI or CIA or something. Or some other government, rather. Oh, wait. I wasn't afraid of the government at the time, but I should have been. I don't know if the government was monitoring me or if that's how they found me, but I was abducted by the United States government in broad daylight in 2015. So it's 2 years after he posted. They never identified themselves, but they were pretty clearly FBI or CIA or something like that. And I was in the United States when it happened, so I know it was the US government and not some other government. Whoever they are, but I think I know. They know who I am and where I am. They kept me for 3 days and tortured me far worse than the aliens ever have. They abducted me again in 2018 at an airport on my way back into the country, and they tortured me for 7 days. Okay, continuing. I don't think the government found me because of my comments here. They weren't monitoring me and probably didn't even know I existed. Jack and Gina did know what I was doing, and that's why I had to quit answering questions last time I was here. I don't know how they knew it was happening right when it was happening, but they knew and they told me to stop. They had to either be monitoring the whole internet or monitoring me and so I'm pretty sure it was just me. They are probably monitoring me right now too. Also, while I'm thinking about it, I think I should mention that Jack and Gina tried to tell me that what they call themselves. They don't call themselves aliens, obviously. I can't spell the word that Gina used, and I can't even remember what it sounded like exactly. But they said that it meant friends of friends. I think that was probably a pretty rough translation, is what he says. They were really angry with me, and they took me up a couple of days after I stopped commenting here. It's hard to explain, but they didn't exactly threaten me, but they did tell me that things were going to be different after that, and that I shouldn't talk about them anymore, and that things were changing. Again, they didn't hurt me, but I was pretty scared of them for the first time in a long time. I was scared enough of them after that the first chance or excuse I had, I left America for a while, but they found me wherever I went. They know where I am all the time, I think, and that makes me think that I probably have some kind of tracking device in me somewhere. I don't know that for sure, but they've found me and taken me up now in 6 different cities on 2 different continents, so they must have some way of knowing where I am. Well, I guess technically 3 different continents. So he says, after posting here, I started talking with Jana, though, and it was different. This is so stupid to say, but I think Jana felt sorry for me. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe she or he or it actually sort of liked me. But after I got in trouble with them, it was different. And instead of just showing me things and asking me questions, they started letting me ask questions. Jana would even say, do you have questions for me? I don't know why, but I never bothered to ask China if she was a boy or a girl, or if they had boys and girls. It didn't seem important at the time, but now it seems like it's important because I don't know whether to type she or her or it or what. Okay. That makes it difficult for me to type this and keep on topic. So I'm just going to say she for Gina because that's the name she gave me and I think of her that way. Asking questions and having conversations with them is always very difficult for me and it leaves me exhausted. They just don't understand English well and they say stuff in weird ways, very literal ways that don't make sense. It takes a long time to understand one another. I wouldn't say I was friendly with Jack and Gina, but I was definitely different. It seemed like they wanted me to ask questions and like they wanted to answer. And I really believed that Gina and I were sort of becoming friends, which I know sounds very stupid. But that ended and changed in 2016 when Jack and Gina left to go back to their home and they took Diane with them. Diane is the minor that he met aboard a ship at one point, is also abducted regularly. I don't know why they went back, but it wasn't like all of the friends of friends went back. Jack never came back, and Gina came back in 2018, but she was so different when she came back to the point that I wondered if it was the same Gina or if this was like a different Gina. And so I even think of her as Gina 2 now. They all look sort of the same, but with little differences that you can tell. And Gina 2 has the same scar that Gina did. Although now I don't know if that is a scar or if it's something about the way her skin is. Now, Jaina 2 is very down to business with me. And she doesn't seem like she cares at all about me. And I don't know if she ever did anyway. They took Diane away in 2016, and I haven't seen or heard much about her since then. But Jaina 2 says that I'm going back with them, the same as Diane did. So I hope that I'll see her again because I got pretty close to her family several years ago. I haven't talked with her mom in a while now, and she and her stepfather had a falling out, but I don't know. I don't know what that was about. I don't have any of my own family left, really, and I won't ever have my own kids, and Diane means a lot to me. I was wrong about some of the stuff I told you all when I commented last time, and I think I should clear up a couple of things. First, I'm really sorry that I said they don't hurt people, because sometimes they do. I asked Jack and Jaina about what they do to people, not just why they are studying me, but what they do to other people too. Jack and Jaina told me that there are 3 kinds of human subjects that they study. She says the first, excuse me, I lost my... The first is like me, who they study over a long period of time and who they talk with and study for a long time. I don't know how I got put into this group or why they would be interested in talking with me more than anyone else. I think it's just luck because they don't treat me like there's anything special about me. I've asked them and they didn't really understand the question, I don't think. Some people in this group have been taken up hundreds of times over 80 years or more. But Jaina told me that usually people don't get taken up anymore after they hit their 40s. At the time, I thought that meant that maybe they lost interest in people when they got older, but now I know that maybe it's that most people in this group don't live that long. Some of us in this group, they take back with them to wherever it is that they come from. Okay, continuing. The second group of their little experiments are people who probably don't even realize they are being observed at all, never abducted, but watched and studied. Interesting. Okay. I don't think I'm in this group, and so I don't know nearly as much about it. I guess maybe they are watching me, but I feel like the people in this group, they probably watch like all the time. And I know they don't watch me all the time. I don't think they do anyways. The last group is people who they use for physical testing, and that usually kills them. Jaina said that they don't hurt people just to hurt people, that they aren't mean, but that these people can't survive the testing. I'm not sure what it is they do to them, but it kills them. I am really, really sorry that I gave the impression that they didn't do this when they actually do. I didn't know about it at the time, and I swear that I wouldn't have come on here and commented that they don't hurt people at all when they do. I still don't think people have anything to worry about because they don't eat people. They aren't trying to harvest our organs. They aren't trying to steal our water or anything like that. But they do some bad things sometimes, and there's nothing I could do about it, and I'm sorry that I made people think that they don't when they do. One other thing I was wrong about was that I think I probably said that Jack and Gina's race that I'm just going to call the Friends of Friends, because that's what they call themselves, didn't make a lot of those movies that they showed me. So he's talking about those films from like hundreds of years ago, right? One other thing I was wrong about was that I think I probably said that Jack and Gina's race that I'm just going to call the Friends of Friends, because that's what they call themselves, didn't make a lot of those movies that they showed me. So he's talking about those historical footage of like people from a few hundred years ago, or even the building of the pyramids and Neanderthals and Cro-Magnon. So he's talking about those videos. The Friends of Friends have only been here for something like 3,000 years. Before that, there were others here to watch us, and I think something bad happened, and they were completely killed off by the Friends of Friends, and got Earth along with everything else that those others had. I mean, 3,000 years is not the time frame that Lacerda said, but could we be talking about some Elohim? I don't know. Okay, it continues now. I don't know much about those others, and this is not a thing I could really ask about, so I really filled in some of my understanding here. So this is why I think maybe it could be the Elohim War, because he had to fill in a lot. 3,000 years might not be the time frame. I don't know, but it would be cool if it's all true. Lacerda, Throawaylien, it would be wild, guys. It's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to continue now. Whoever the aliens were before, they must have been doing pretty much the same thing as the Friends of Friends, because they bothered to take all the videos and everything. But the way Jack and Gina talked about it, I got the feeling that they didn't care for those others. Like the others might have been their enemies, or they might have done something bad. When they talked about it, they didn't talk about it like it was just a shift change or something. I'm pretty sure there was a war and the Friends of Friends killed all the others. And I'm not sure about this either, but I think that the big ship might actually have been built or brought here by those others and not by the Friends of Friends. I know that when Jack and Gina went back home for a while, they didn't go in the big ship. The big ship pretty much stays put, I think, and I've still never seen it from the outside, so I don't know what it looks like. It might not even be a ship, I guess. It could be like an office building on the moon for all I know. The other big thing that I was wrong about was that I said that they don't have religion. They say they don't, but I don't know about that. I know this sounds like they are stupid, and they can't be stupid if they can travel all the way here and have these ships and all this technology, but this sounds pretty stupid to me. Gina said that there are a lot of different beings out there. I can't remember if she said thousands or millions, but I think she said millions. It's probably millions, yeah. And there are millions of planets with life on it, she said. And then there are some forms of life that don't even have planets. Some planets have just like fungus on them, or some fish or plants. But there are, I think she said, millions of civilizations out there. So intelligent, sentient civilizations. Many of them are as advanced as hers, she said. She said that there are only 7 planets in the whole world that are like the Earth, where the dominant life form has the simple problems. She called them the simple problems, not me. She didn't tell me a list of the simple problems, but she told me some of them that were prayer, faith healing, and churches, and sorcery and magic, and all that kind of stuff. Mostly all stuff about religion. And of those 7, she said that there were only 3 where people experienced deja vu, believed in prophecies, or that worshiped idols. We are one of those 3. And that's why the Friends of Friends are here. That's why the others were here too. And that's why the next group is coming in July. Gina says that they know that the whole world isn't really what it looks like, but it's actually the creation of a single intelligence, and that we and everything exist inside that intelligence. I asked her if it was like the Matrix. And then I explained to her what that was, and she said it wasn't like that at all. Which is weird because, yeah, if you explain it, I guess it's not like that for real, but it's close enough. All right. And so then I asked her if it was like when that hospital show ended and it turned out to all be a kid imagining it in a snow globe. And she said it wasn't like that either. But she said that it's the one thing that everyone in the world agrees on. And by the way, when she says in the world, she's talking about the universe. When he wrote world, I think it's pretty obvious, meant the whole universe. So just keep that in mind there. Okay, so Gina says they know that the whole universe isn't really what it looks like, but it's actually the creation of a single intelligence, and that we and everything exist inside that intelligence. I asked her if it was like the Matrix, and then I explained to her what that was, and she said it wasn't anything like that at all. Which is weird, because close enough. And so then I asked her if it was like when that hospital show ended and it turned out to all be a kid imagining it in a snow globe. And she said it wasn't like that either. But she said that it's the one thing that everyone in the universe agrees on. All these thousands and thousands of advanced civilizations, they apparently all have proof that the world is imaginary or a dream or a computer program or something. And they study Earth and the two other planets like it because they are pretty sure that these three planets and the intelligent life on them are either mistakes, like accidents, or else one of them might be the center of the whole thing and everything else is a mistake or an accident. They want to figure out which is which so that they can better understand the intelligence that creates the universe. What? That's pretty freaking cool. I don't think Lacerda said anything like about that, but it's a different species. I don't know. I want to believe. Okay, here we go. Continuing. That sounds like a lot like religion to me. I tried to finish up college a few years ago, and I took a world religions course, and to me this sounds like religion, but I'm not an expert, so I don't know. Also, I didn't end up finishing college. I only have 3 courses left, but I'm not ever going to get there, and that bothers me a lot because a lot of people in my family were really educated and were doctors and engineers, and I'm just nothing special. That's mostly because of this thing that I've had to deal with as part of my life. He continues. When I look back on all the videos they've shown me and all the questions they've asked, it's pretty clear that this is what they are studying in me. When I look back on all the videos they've shown me and all the questions they've asked, it's pretty clear that this is what they are studying in me. I should have seen that even before Gina told me, but it's hard to think clearly about things like this because it's traumatic. I've read some of the comments you all have made about me in the last few months, and I've seen a few of you mention mental health stuff, like maybe I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not delusional or insane, but over the years I've had to deal with this shit in my life, and it's not easy, and maybe that's caused me to see things a little differently than they really are. I don't mean like I'm imagining things, but that I'm maybe justifying things or rationalizing them. You have to understand that I don't have my own life. If you can understand that, I'm not in control of it. Someone else is. And they've done stuff to me, like taking me away and forcing me to watch things and interrogate me and all of it. And I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice in it. And I think maybe when I was commenting here before, maybe I was putting kind of rose-colored glasses on my experience because the reality of it is that my life doesn't mean anything to anyone and I am powerless, and it was easier for me to think of Jack and Gina as friendly and as the things they do with me as just not so bad. I don't know what my point is here except that you shouldn't trust most abduction stories. I wouldn't trust most of the alien stuff that you hear either, because people out there want attention and they are bored, or they want to take advantage of you and make you do things that they make stuff up to get your attention. If you've been through it in reality, it's easy to spot the people making stuff up about it. I say this because I saw on one of your comments, there's a guy posting that he's an alien named Adam, and is going to show everyone the true history of the planet through the internet starting this summer. And he made his account right after I posted my comments and then started posting recently. At one point, he even said that I was part of. His scam somehow. That person is full of BS. That's not a real thing. And if you believe it, then I've got a bridge to sell you. And I mention it also because you are probably going to hear a lot more accounts of abductions in the next few years, because I've seen many more of us up there than I used to. Things have changed about the way they are observing us. And there's a lot more human contact, and a lot of those people are bound to mention it to friends or family. And then once that gets started, the hoaxers and frauds are bound to start popping up. This stuff is really important though, and not just for you and for Earth, but for the people who they are taking. We are people, and this is not easy for most of us. It's hard and it's lonely, and we don't have anywhere we can get help. My friend Sam that I mentioned before died in 2016, and I got a chance to meet his mother at the funeral, and I think that helped her deal with the loss a little bit. He was a nice guy. He was the nicest guy I ever knew, honestly. He was only 8 years older than me, but he died of bone cancer, and I wonder if it had to do with, I guess, radiation or something. Actually, yeah. Yeah, some radioactive nuclei, like if they're in the uh, if they're in the first or second period of the periodic table, those first two columns, like calcium's in that group, and calcium, it, it's part of our bone structure. It deposits in our bones, right? To form our bones, which is hydroxyapatite. But anyways, some radioactive nuclei that are in those two rows, and I think cesium might be one of them. Radium, maybe, yeah, radon or radium. Those radioactive nuclei will embed themselves into the bones because that's how our body, like those types of atoms that have those similar chemical properties, similar charge, will bind to the same sites that calcium would normally bind to in our body. So, yeah, like I believe the bone cancer thing. Like, I mean, granted, it depends why they were using those radioactive nuclei, or you know. But yeah, I could see that. Anyways, okay. So he was just saying, I wonder if it had to do with, I guess, radiation or something, or just something about our experiences up there. I don't know, or I don't know, or I don't know. We are all getting older, and maybe it was just his destiny to die like that. But I don't think so, and I don't believe in destiny, anyways. He was such a nice guy to me, and his mother was heartbroken, and there were almost no one at his funeral. That's sad. He was such a nice guy to me, and his mother was heartbroken, and there were almost no one at his funeral. And of course, that's not his real name. As I said last time, I changed everyone's name because I'm not about to out anyone on here, and I happened to be thinking about that show Cheers at the time, and that's why I picked these stupid names. I mean, yeah. I begged Coach to come with me to the funeral because it was the right thing to do, and because I'd never traveled that far on my own, but he wouldn't, and we haven't spoken for years. He pretends like none of this is real and that it never happens. I know that they are still taking him up, and I've tried to reach out to him, but he stopped returning my calls. He is really famous now, not just sort of famous, but very, very famous. And I know he's afraid of what this could do to his career. But it's not like I would ever name him, so I don't know why he cut me out of his life. This thing that we are all going through is different for each of us, and some of us handle it differently, I guess. But to me, it felt different than that. When he wouldn't go to Sam's funeral, it was like I had insulted his mother. Wait, whoa. But to me, it felt different than that. When he wouldn't go to Sam's funeral, it was like I had insulted his mother or something. Like, how dare I ask him to go to the funeral of some trash nobody? Damn, it's fucked up. When really he's just he just had a couple of lucky breaks, and that's the only difference between him and Sam, or even between him and I. Wow. Right. Okay. Or even between him and I. I'm not bitter about his success, but I am so furious with him about the way he changed and treated me when Sam died. And I didn't even acknowledge Sam or go to his funeral. I know that he will never ever admit to any of this, but I also know that Coach was in the same group as me, and that eventually they were going to take him back with them. I bet he thinks he's safe from that now because he's so seen everywhere, and they wouldn't dare take up a celebrity because then everyone would know, but they don't care about that. So live it up, buddy. Live it up now, buddy, because sooner or later you're going to vanish and your truth will come out. I met 3 other people who went up regularly over the last 8 or 10 years and made friends with them. And I didn't mention any of them last time I commented on here because one, I had just met them and I wasn't sure if we were really going to be friends, and the other two I hadn't met yet. They are all dead now. 2 of them unalived themselves, and the other one died in a car accident that I'm pretty sure was also unaliving himself. So maybe you get it now when I say that once you've been through this, you can tell when people are lying. They don't set you back down here with they don't set you send you back down here with a message of world peace or a warning to stop wars. They don't care about us. Not like that they don't. Oh, they don't care about us. Not like that they don't. They don't select some old man on a hillbilly vacation to give him a message about how to save the whales or to fight Satan. And the fact of it is that it takes a hell of a lot of patience from me to get to the point where I could ask them questions about anything. Again, back to I know most people are lying. These aliens don't give a shit. They don't give a crap about us. I mean, yeah, that's what you hear throughout the UFO world, the abduction world. Everyone has the same feeling of like these things are indifferent to us. They do not care. Like they don't care how advanced we are. They might not even care about nukes as we think they do. Because really, we're like ants probably compared to them. This thing has been a part of my terrible life since I was a kid, and it's too much to deal with, to be honest. I haven't ever been able to hold down a real job, and I haven't been able to make real friends or have relationships that meant anything, except I was very close to Diane and her family, but she's gone now too. Dad died in 2010 and left me our house and a little bit of money. My mom died a long time ago, but that's a whole another story. That's how he wrote it. If it weren't for the house and the money he left me, I would have ended up on the street, and then you all here would never have heard of me, and anyone I talked to would have thought I was a crazy homeless man. Damn. Imagine that. So imagine how many do go crazy and become homeless and are maybe saying stuff and no one's going to believe them. I don't know. Just the thoughts running through my head reading that. And that's how most of us probably end up, is either living in the street or else driving our cars off of cliffs and taking enough pills to not wake up. I don't know why I've been able to handle it and others can't. I don't know why Coach can handle it and others can't. I don't know what makes us any different or what makes us similar. And maybe we can't handle it better anyway. And maybe the better way is just to go out on your own terms or to lose your mind and get locked up. Damn. I don't know really, but I know that when you scroll through comments on here, no one seems interested in what day-to-day life is like for someone like us whose lives are taken over by this. I don't know anything is the fact of it all at the end of the day. The only thing I know for sure is that when someone says they have answers, or that the aliens told them things, or that they are an alien, or anything for sure about aliens or conspiracies or anything like that, you can be pretty sure that that person is full of BS and is trying to pull one over on you. That's the truth, and maybe the only full truth that I know. And you don't come forward and pretend to have the answers. When this happens to you, you spend all of your days feeling like garbage and you try to hide. I've had I don't know how many jobs over the years, all around minimum wage, making sandwiches, delivering pizza, filling shipping boxes, janitorial work, but I can't hold a job because of this. I couldn't finish college because of this, and I barely finished high school. If you want to know that fact of it, I hardly leave my house or go out in public. Not because I think people will think I'm crazy, and not even because I'm afraid of people, but because I'm so tired all the time. I know that I have a trauma, and I know that maybe the way I see these things is shaped by that and all of that. I know that, but it doesn't change the fact that this is the day-to-day reality. I miss my dad, and I miss Diane, and I even miss Coach, and I hardly get through a day without thinking about Sam because I just have no one else in my life. All the time I'm lonely and it hurts to be this alone. So, no, I don't know how their machines work or how they travel here or where I'll be going with them or any of that. I don't know any of that. And it makes me feel even worse because I have no control and no understanding about it. And even if I asked them or if they could tell me, how could I know? And how could I explain it to anyone if anyone would listen anyway? I don't even know how cell phones work. How does an air conditioner work? How do they get air into the machine that puts air in your car tires? Um, I don't know any of this stuff. How long have they been here? I don't know, but I don't even know how long we have been here. Do they have any weaknesses? I don't know. And if they did, do you think they would tell me? Can they feel love? I don't know. That's for sure, because how could I know that? Why did they choose July 18th? I don't know the answer to that. I don't have any answers to these things, and I'm sick of having these questions. I don't care that I'm not coming back because I don't have anything here. I'm so tired of the loneliness and the sadness of this place. So what? I'm not afraid of them or of the government either because there's nothing they can do. Every moment of my life is the worst moment of my life. I'll tell you what is frustrating is to see so many comments on here, and not just on here, but everywhere about conspiracy this and conspiracy that. And you can see in their faces or in their words that they want to be a part of it and they want this experience. But you do not want this experience. It's frustrating to see people who think they have figured something out because they stayed up late on a Wednesday night reading something on the web, and now they think they understand or they figured something out. We've all been there. You're out of your mind if you think you can figure it all out. I'm not the crazy one, and you won't get your answers from the government cover-up report that's about to come out that will say, oh, sure, there's something, someone explained stuff, but we don't know about any aliens. So he's referring to the 2021 first congressional report about UAP. Yep. And I hate to break it to everyone, but they already made contact. They are here, and they have been here, and they are now in contact with humans. I've seen many, many, many more of us up there on my last several trips, and they weren't like me, not like Coach or Sam. These aren't abductees or whatever it is that we are. When you see an abductee up there, we usually look either like they are leading us down the hallway in a dentist's office, or else we are throwing our arms around and screaming because we are so scared. But the people up there now are different. But now there are people up there who look like businessmen and military men. They are sitting up there on their own without getting guarded, and they are having meetings, and they are watching something on screens and talking back, like probably with people back on Earth. They are wearing like army uniforms and military jackets. I've heard these people up there speaking in English and in languages that I don't understand, but I mean, I know that some of them were Chinese and some were Japanese or Korean, and there were some that were French because I do recognize French. I've seen people who look Arab and African and everything you can imagine. They are in contact with us. I know that the US government is in contact with them because I've seen American military up there, and also because when the US government men kidnapped me, they asked me questions that they couldn't have just made up. They had information about the ships and about what they had done to me on those ships and about me. And the only way they could have gotten all that information was if they were also talking with the friends of friends or whatever you want to call them. And that was years ago. So I know that the government at least knew about them years ago. And you wonder what you'll learn from the report? We all know. It was bullshit. Whatever was planned for July is still going to happen so far as I know. But it has definitely changed. Something changed, and I'm pretty sure that's why this report is coming out. But I can't be sure about that. I've heard friends talking about a report for years and years, but I didn't know it would happen this way. I don't know if the report that's coming out is to prepare us or if it's just a cover up. Spoiler alert, it was a cover up. I don't know what it all will be on the 18th. I don't know what it will all be on the 18th either, except that China 2 and the friends of friends are leaving and someone else is coming, and that whatever will happen on Earth is not colonization. I've seen maps up there, and it looks like on the 18th something will happen at least in Western Africa, something in maybe China or around China, and in Wyoming or Colorado or Utah. It's hard for me to know where stuff is just looking at maps without the state and country borders on them. But none of the maps up there have any of those lines, so I'm making educated guesses on those three spots. Okay, interesting. Central Asia, North America, Africa. Mm-hmm. Entrances to underground cities, maybe? No? Okay. I don't know for sure what the government report will be, but I think that the point of it is misdirection. Yeah, it was. There's a big change in the program coming, and the friends are leaving. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going too, I think. And something about that change, I think, might be really noticeable or destructive or something. There won't be answers in any report, just misdirections. That's my bet. This took me a lot longer than I thought it would, and it's too late to answer questions. But I don't know if I would want to. I can't tell you exactly what will happen on the 18th, and I don't care anyways. Whatever it is, I just don't care, even if it is destructive, or even if the people coming to replace the friends of friends are terrible and they colonize. I don't have the ability to care anymore because I'm just tired and I've had to accept my destiny. The only way I can make it through my nights right now is telling myself that in a few weeks' time, I'll get to see Diane and make sure that she's okay. I'm probably being stupid because they are probably going to do something bad to me. But it really can't be worse than this, and I have no choice but to believe that this will work out for me. I can't make it through the night without I can't make it through the night without believe that. Okay? And believe me, I know how pathetic it sounds when I say that all I have to look forward to is seeing a girl who is practically like a niece or a distant cousin and who might not even remember me for all I know. She's been gone a long time, and I know there are others of us that they have taken. So I hope that she's met some friends and is happy wherever she is. And I guess wherever it is that I am going, maybe there will be enough of us there that I can make some friends. Wow. Woo! That was, I mean, was that it? Yeah. Yeah. That was it. All right, guys, that is the conclusion of the Throwaylien story. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. This is a new channel just dedicated to this stuff, so please subscribe, like, comment, so I can get some attention out there. Again, a big I was already planning on doing this video, but what really pushed me to finish it was Chris Ramsey's videos on the Lacerda files, which I will be making a third part to this, or a fourth part depending on how I edit this up and how I decide to post it. And it'll just be thoughts and speculation, maybe not even in any particular order, but just kind of like a spoiler review where we just I talk spoilers on what I think, and because there's a lot, and that last video that I put up is going to be a kind of like to and fro comparison of like this story with the Lacerda files. Yeah. I mean, this has been fun. It's like how Area 52's channel, you gotta check him out. He was my biggest inspiration for starting my channel finally. Also, check out Psicoactivo podcast. Those two guys are the guys who really got me to get my setup and start talking about this. I've been into the UFO topic since I was 4 years old. I'm about to turn 30. I remember being on the early days of the home computer on Google, and the only things I were interested in was just UFOs. And then I would also look up quantum physics because I had heard, Einstein was like a big thing for me. It's always been. Science has always been. I have a background in chemistry. I'm not even gonna pretend like I can make, professional, educated guesses on like the physics behind a lot of what he's saying. But I will in that last video. I'll do it anyways, but I'm not gonna do it in this video because there's no point. It takes away from just the storytelling, distracts you guys. Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys like this. Yeah, and feel free to comment any other story that you want me to read out like this. That's kind of similar in its like spiciness and gets those goosebumps going up. Like, oh shit, this might be real. If you got any of those, please. If I'm missing any, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, until next time. Thank you.